Hey guys, good morning. So here's your daily point for today. So we're continuing talking about some of the things that can come up when people want to talk about the Bible that can potentially shake your faith. And so I just wanted to give you some things that will help you to at least know that there could be answers out there if you want to start looking for them. So something that you will hear a lot of times that people will say about the Bible is that, you know what, this is just made up. Somebody made up all these stories. There's no way that any of this is true. It's just a bunch of stories. Who can believe that stuff? And so I want to kind of point you back to something I said in the sermon on Sunday, which was, if these guys who were with Jesus made up this story, why wouldn't they have written a much more appealing story? If you're going to write something and you were going to end up being kind of the hero, wouldn't you write it so that you were the hero, so that you ended up looking good? Or that your hero actually ended up looking good? But there's so many times, even when they would write stuff about Jesus, he could not do many miracles in his hometown because of their lack of faith. So here is God who was limited because of people's lack of faith. If you were going to write a story about the Messiah that was coming, would you have written that? And so, you have to start thinking about the way that we actually have the story that we have of Jesus is really pretty remarkable, and his followers. And so I wanted to read you this quote out of this book, More Than a Carpenter. It says that historian Will Durant, who was trained in the discipline of historical investigation and spent his life analyzing records of antiquity, writes this: "Despite the prejudices and theological misconceptions of the evangelists, they record many incidents that mere inventors would have concealed. The competition of the apostles for high places in the kingdom, their flight after Jesus' arrest, Peter's denial, the failure of Christ to work miracles in Galilee, the references of some auditors to his possible insanity, his early uncertainty as to his mission, his confessions of ignorance as to the future, his moments of bitterness, his despairing cry on the cross. No one reading these scenes can doubt the reality of the figure behind them. That a few simple men should, in one generation, have invented so powerful and appealing a personality, so lofty an ethic, and so inspiring a vision of human brotherhood would be a miracle far more incredible than any recorded in the Gospels. After 2 centuries of higher criticism, the outlines of the life, character, and teaching of Christ remain reasonably clear and constitute the most fascinating feature in the history of Western man." So that is one historian's view after reading all this stuff in the Bible and looking at the story and the way that the story of Jesus was written. He's basically saying, like, no one would have made this up. This history is so rich, and this character of Jesus is so rich. These simple fishermen could not have kind of come together and put together this idea. And that's what I want you to really start looking at, is that the story of Jesus is amazing. The story of who this guy is absolutely amazing, and it will change you. Now those of you who have grown up in the church, you've grown up hearing these stories of Jesus all your life, and part of you is numb to it. And I want to keep poking at that part of you that is numb to it, because if you let yourself stay numb to it, you are going to live life as an intellectual inferior, because you're not applying your brain to actually looking at looking at the possibility that Jesus really is awesome and amazing. And that's what I want you to start thinking about, is that this story actually is really remarkable. The way that they portray Jesus, God coming into humanity and becoming a man, becoming one of us. God creates these people, and then to show us how much he loves us, he becomes one of us, and then lives his life for us, and then sacrifices himself for us. Who would have thought that up? And no other religion that we have on the face of the planet is this stuff thought up this way. Only in Christianity and only with Jesus. So think about that for a day. All right. Love you guys. Bye.